Hey, let's talk about presence. Not loudness. Not just cool effects. The kind of presence that makes you feel like the room itself is part of the story. This is the TM80C. You're the kind of person who's never fully satisfied with background sound that just sits there. You know when something feels incomplete, like the visuals are great but the sound never lands. You've lived with setups where bass felt thin, dialogue felt distant, and music felt flat, and you always sensed there had to be more to the experience. Before you go any further, take a quick peek at the current price and stock. Systems with this much capability don't stay stable once people start upgrading. The moment you know it's time usually isn't dramatic. It's quiet. A movie plays and you catch yourself adjusting the volume again. A song comes on and the lows feel weak. A game feels lifeless even when everything else looks great. That's when you realize you're done tolerating almost immersive. You want sound that feels intentional. When you power the system up, the first thing you feel isn't shock, it's depth. Sound doesn't just leave the speakers and disappear. It fills the space. The subwoofers add weight without being boomy. The towers project sound that feels grounded instead of just loud. You stop thinking about the speakers and start living in the moment. You feel it while watching movies when dialogue stays anchored and effects feel directional instead of crowded. You hear it during music because layers separate instead of blurring together. You notice it while gaming because footsteps and ambience don't just happen, they place you in the scene. Even casual listening feels richer, like you're hearing parts of the track you never noticed before. This isn't about big numbers or flashy volume bars. It's about coherence. Once you experience sound that breathes and expands, weaker systems start feeling like they're just guessing where sound should live instead of placing it where it belongs. If you're tempted to wait on price or availability, reconsider. Systems that balance power and clarity like this tend to disappear quietly when people realize what they're missing. You might be wondering if a package like this is overkill for everyday use. That thought fades fast. When bass stays controlled and dialogue stays crisp, even simple TV shows feel more engaging. You don't crank volume to enjoy detail. You just hear it. The surprise benefit, honestly, is how much easier long listening sessions feel. You don't push volume higher and higher to chase satisfaction. The sound feels complete at comfortable levels, which means you actually use the system more. Ownership feels confident. This isn't gear you second guess. It feels like a foundation you can build experiences on, not a stopgap you'll replace later. And every time you glance at simpler or cheaper options, they feel like partial solutions you've already outgrown. Sound feels full and grounded. Every scene has presence. Music feels layered and alive. Your room feels part of the experience. Subwoofers need space to breathe. It's bigger than basic setups. Eventually, you stop comparing specs and start choosing how you want your sound to feel. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you keep postponing while every night feels the same. If the TM80C system is available right now, trust that instinct and make the move.